hello! I've arrived. Artist, archivist, future man, and tonight, Alchemist. You can call me Tiberius Vanderfield. Hello. Hello. Yes, so, tonight, we will be continuing Atelier Yumia. Yeah, not a whole lot to be said on that, I suppose. So, business. Tonight, Atelier Yumia, once again. Tomorrow, we should be seeing some more Arc Knights. Once again, we did not have the Monday stream, so we will be playing on Wednesday instead. Yes. Ideally, I would like to make that not the case going forward, but on this particular Monday, I had to be elsewhere. And I did return in time that I could theoretically have streamed, but I certainly was not in any real state for it. So yes, it is what it is. So yes, then on Thursday, you should be able to expect some more Atelier Yumia, and then on Friday, you should be able to, we will be playing Mika and the Witch's Mountain, and then Saturday, more Arc Knights. Yeah, so once again, the game, hold on. Yes, Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, comes out on the 5th. Initially, we were planning on playing that on release, but again, I did want to get the special edition, and I didn't want to buy the game twice. So yes. So originally, previously, last time I mentioned it, I had... Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yes. So, all of the streams, except for the Thursday and Friday streams, you can expect around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. We are a little bit behind that today, but it is what it is. And then the Thursday and Friday streams you can expect to be around 9 p.m. Central Time. There we are. Yes, now I can talk about other things. Actually, you know what? We'll do that while we're in the game. No need to dilly or dally. I can also hear my fan going a little bit, so hold on. And I noticed that there's an issue with my we don't have game audio right now. Easily fixable. There we are. Anyway. So yes, let me adjust my fan real quick. Because summer has fallen upon us like, I don't know, something that you don't want to be. Oh dear. Right, anyway. I forgot that this kind of happens sometimes. Anyway. I suppose it's just sort of an issue of me happening to save too close to enemies, and then the game sort of starting before the actual scene has rendered. Anyway, we just got Necromancy on Rutger, which sounds interesting. So, let's see what that is. I remember, was it under skills? I remember we saw this earlier. Ah, okay, here we go. Oh no, Necromancy, yeah, it's an ability. Okay. Physical damage to enemies in an area consumes HP on activation. So this is actually an ability that hits multiple enemies. Which I don't think, at least I haven't noticed any of them previously saying that they do... Okay, no, that does... Helios Judgment does do damage in an area as well. I guess I never really thought about that. Okay, we do actually have a fair few that do damage in an area. Everyone has at least one so far. Yes. Except Yumia, it looks like. Which, fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, we don't run into groups of enemies that often. Anyway, let's jump up a little bit. Oops. Yes, jump up a little bit so I can have some time to get my bearings. Yes, what were we talking about? What were we talking about? Hold on. Oh, yes. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma. There we go. Yes. So, like I was saying, we were initially planning to play that on release, but I wanted to get the special edition of it, and that is not going to be not going to be delivered immediately. Yeah, I suppose it's not entirely impossible, though it seems somewhat unlikely that it might be available in stores somewhere in my area. I don't know, well, I was going to say I don't know if I can get a refund on it at this point. I don't suppose it'd be unreasonable, considering it hasn't even been delivered yet, but anyway. I also need to remember that we're planning on doing quests, or playing the game, so this is our next location. Yes, the Alber settlement. But yes. I don't want to go right directly there, because I do want to have time to talk, so we're going to fast travel to a nearby location and then walk the rest of the way. Come to think of it, did we ever... I'm wondering... oh, right. I'm wondering if we ever set up a base here. If not, we could probably do with another greenhouse. But yes. So, the game is coming out, on the 5th. So, the game is coming out on the 5th. So it will be a little bit before we actually play it. Yeah, given the information that I saw, and now I remember what I was going to say about that. Yes, the information that I saw, let's see, where is the, catalog, right? Yeah, I think we're going to build a, I haven't run into any storage limits, so I think we're going to build another greenhouse. Let's see, I wonder... I would assume we probably can't place multiple of these, right? Yeah, remove all placed objects. Okay. Yeah, presumably that would also include this greenhouse, which we would ideally not like to remove. And, okay, we can sort these as well by the same categories as we can everything else. Yeah, so... just looking at it, it does seem that, I think our highest quality things would probably have been the sort of refined materials, and I'm not seeing any of them in here. So so it does seem that the greenhouse can only farm basic materials, so to speak. The fact that you can grow water and other such things in a greenhouse is kind of... it's pretty fun anyway, regardless, but yeah. So some of these really good materials are probably things that we would want to grow. I know that we've already got one growing some things, but I never really considered... I never really... I don't know, I'm not doing anything too much with it. I imagine we're probably going to end up placing a lot of greenhouses. I suppose we can also build other structures in and around them. I wonder if this building has any purpose, or if it's just here for aesthetics, effectively. Anyway, we're probably going to build a lot of greenhouses, and we're probably going to build a few other things beside them. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled talk about Rune Factory. So yes, so when I pre-ordered it on the website, it said that it could take up to about 2 weeks. The estimated time for delivery was on the 20th, so that could very well be the time that we start playing. So yes. So yeah, other than that, I guess it could also be early, but I wouldn't necessarily count on it, unfortunate. But yes, I wouldn't necessarily count on that. Where are... is this anything we've collected so far? Yeah, it looks to be. Walled pearls, yes. So yes. Ah. Actually, I noticed the trail leading up to this. I wonder if that was... what that was, then. Because, I've noticed such trails previously, seemingly out of nowhere, unconnected to anything obviously of interest to us. So it could be that we've just had the game's been pointing us to particles this whole time. Indeed, it seems that it has. Yeah, again, last time around we did also unlock the ability to convert particles, if I remember correctly. We unlocked the ability, but we didn't do anything with it because I wasn't able to figure out how to make it work. Yeah, I wasn't sure what we needed to do to have it happen. This seems like... I don't know if this is leading me to a shrine or if that's leading me to... Well, this is definitely leading to a shrine, but I don't know if this trail is also supposed to be as such. Now that I've noticed these trails, it's going to be hard not to follow them whenever I see them. But I do have a job to do here. Can't get too distracted. So yes. Huh. Interesting game, given that Flammy is, you know, a irreplaceable relic of her mother. Anyway, it seems that when the drip drops fall from the sky, it's all splish, splash, splosh. It's fun. Good to know. But yes, it seems that we are in the settlement and we haven't immediately gotten into a cutscene, so I suppose I could have probably fast-traveled here without too much issue. We might get into one as we get closer, but anyway. Since I brought it up, I want to conclude my thoughts on the situation with the game. So yes, so once again, whenever it arrives is when we will start playing it. We're going to be playing it alongside Atelier, so we'll be alternating between it and Atelier. Yeah, probably we'll alternate on a, like, play one and then play the other within the same week. I was also thinking about potentially doing Atelier for one week and then the other game, Rune Factory, as some call it. Yes, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma for the other week, and so on and so forth. I suppose it doesn't matter too much, but it'd probably help me keep things straight if I played them both weekly. But yeah, anyway. Given that I do tend to stream shorter on some of the days each week, we might alternate which one we play on Tuesday and which one we play on Thursday. Anyway, that's enough about a game that isn't this game. Let's talk about this game. Yeah, I've also made a few changes to the graphics settings. Again, I've been experimenting with that a little bit. I wasn't 100% sure if that was potentially the cause for some of our frame rate issues. It seems a little bit like the capture frame rate might be a little bit lower than that of the game, once again. We have indeed. Oh, they have a body underneath this covering, I suppose. Wow, it's true. Tall ones, welcome. Got a little bit caught up in things there. They already said their line. Anyway. Interesting that we're getting this introduction to the Albers, considering we have been here before. I suppose I don't think we weren't ever, like, told to come here, per se. We just happened to stop by, so to speak, on our way to other things. Yeah, another thing. Yeah, this is a detail that is probably only, probably the sort of thing that only I would really think about, but there are people like me, I imagine, and I imagine probably the proportion of people who watch me regularly probably contains a lot more people who are like me than the average slice of the population. Yeah, one thing that's always bothered me a little bit is taking screenshots. Since I'm using a keyboard key, brings up the button prompts for the keyboard. Yeah, I figured out a way to do that where I can use shortcuts on the controller. Yeah, in addition to just being very slightly irritating to me, there is the issue also of, I have to physically take my hand off of the controller to reach over to the keyboard, which, while not necessarily demanding, isn't the most convenient thing in the world. So being able to do it while keeping my hands on the controller lets me do so a little bit more promptly, so I'm a little bit less likely to miss good screenshot opportunities, which is very important for creating thumbnails. Yeah, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but I do have a Tumblr also that I've not used. So I feel like I might want to make use of the Tumblr account to post some of the extra screenshots that I collect. Indeed it must. Yeah, I definitely feel like I can see the difference. Because yeah, previously I had turned the graphic settings down a little bit to hopefully reduce or remove the issue. But again, it didn't seem to have an immediate effect on it. Yeah, so I've turned them back up a little bit, adjusted things somewhat, trying a few different ideas. Alright, it looks like we have a boss on our hands. And it looks like we have a bit of a strange particle effect interaction there. I wouldn't say that we're friends with it. Again, it feels a little bit rude referring to this individual as a monster. I mean, they undeniably are from like a moral standpoint, but hello there, physicist. Good to see you. Yeah, glad to see you drop by. So, yeah. It does still feel a little bit strange to be referring to this individual as a monster. Again, they are almost certainly so on a from a moral standpoint. But they also are seemingly intelligent enough to do alchemy, which implies that they're probably sapient. I suppose monsters can also be sapient, but... Anyway. So yes, Alber Fence Blueprint. You've seen us build a fence before, Rooker. We did it just yesterday. Or not yesterday, but last stream. Anyway, so, we can fix this up real quick. Right, actually we do need to put down a workbench so that we can actually build the fence. Yes, Alber Fence. I wonder if this fence... No, this isn't a fence. Ah, it's here, isn't it? Okay. Okay, this fence is a little bit more in keeping with the aesthetic of the other area that we wanted to build a fence. I might make a few of these so we can put some back at our base to replace the one that I built but did not like. Let's see, where is the fence that we just built? Here we are. Alright. Yeah, how are you doing today, physicist? Well, I hope. I don't know precisely what is expected of us here. But this area does seem to be approximately 4 fences in diameter. So why not put down Alan? Yeah, you're okay, trying to relax? Alright, well, I hope that you find a lot of relaxation here. Yes, we can certainly make all sorts of different things. It is a pretty nice fence. We should also pick up that workbench before I leave. I don't want to forget it here. I don't imagine we're going to need to do a lot of building here specifically. Or at least not a lot of furniture building. Alright, give me just a moment while I pick up my workbench. Where did I put it? There it is. Or no. Where are we? Ah, there it is. Alright. To Rutger's credit there on his humility. We did find this place previously without his aid, so... Anyway, so, pick this up, put this away. Can we move this fence at all? It feels a little bit low to the ground, but... I suppose that's simply the nature of the beast. So yes. So, the shortcut is over yonder. Again, we've been here before and availed ourselves of the services. So I don't feel like we need to do a whole lot more while we're here. Let's see. Okay, so yeah. So dropping down is probably what we want to do here. Don't need to worry about fall damage. I was trying to see if I could... Yeah, I was trying to see if I could potentially... fall in such a way that I could jump off of the rock wall and break my fall, but again, it's not really a huge concern. It's a very small energy loss. This is indeed the path. Looks like it's a little bit of a tight squeeze for creatures of our size. We can probably do something about that, though. They acknowledge it, at least. Well, if we just squeeze, you know, we could probably make it. You know, a funny observation I just had, or a funny thought I just had, was Drucker mentioned earlier that he had when he was younger, he used to be called upon to weed a lot. So in light of that, it does sound a little... The thought of him using his scythe for gardening also sounds a little appropriate. Alright, Yumia has the solution as per usual. Now, the question is, will it be an explosive? Will it be some sort of incendiary? Oh, okay, it seems like something else entirely, if she's planning on lifting the roots. I assume not physically, per se. Alright. Well, now I'm wondering. Trailblazer seed. Yeah, so it looks like we'll need to go... something around here, you say? Okay, I was thinking that that waypoint was going to lead us back to the Atelier, and it does seem like it is going to. I suppose maybe they're implying that we would be well served by picking up resources from around this area. We've been pretty thorough in our explorations of this part of the map previously, so I don't imagine that there's going to be anything that we really desperately need that we haven't already picked up in some form or fashion. Yes. So I suppose we'll just head back to the Atelier and we'll put that to the test. Alright. So, Trailblazer Seed. We need just some particles to be able to learn it. Trailblazer Seed. Made by Yumia in order to move the giant roots blocking the way. It rapidly grows in a short amount of time, but its growth is difficult to control, so one must not use it carelessly. Yeah, I imagine this is just sort of an item for plot progression, not anything that needs to be used, per se. Or not anything that needs to be, or can be, rather, used otherwise. Alright, so, synthesis. Not too complicated, it looks like. We just need to include some plants. Given that we can properly craft it, it does seem like it might be something that has some application otherwise. I think we'll use some of this weaker cloth if we're going to be using any at all. Given that this, well, again, this probably isn't necessary, and I'm probably using resources somewhat unwisely here. But, you know how it goes. Alright. Yes. We have a Trailblazer Seed now. And, okay, I'm not seeing any more option to... Yeah, I'm not seeing the option to make any more. I was thinking that maybe it could be something that we could create and then use that to make something else. So it looks like we did use that cloth for effectively nothing. Which is unfortunate, but such is the way of things. I'm going to fight. I want to look gorgeous doing it, is all. I'm not upset about anything. Alright. So, back into the wilds. That should be our closest fast travel point. Yeah, I thought I noticed some frame rate issues previously. But if I did, they definitely seem to be... The frame rate definitely seems to be better now than it was previously. Even with the graphics settings turned back up. So again, I'm still pretty convinced that it doesn't really have anything to do with that. Despite that often being a cause. Because again, the frame rate issues don't affect my display at all. They only seem to appear in the capture. And again, because they don't seem to affect my model's movements at all. It definitely seems to be an issue with the capture card. I do want to explore everything around here. But we already have to a pretty good extent, honestly. Alright, so the Trailblazer Seed. Sit. Well, it seems like something is going to grow out of that seed. Right, we will infuse it with energy, I suppose, and cause it to grow up and push the roots out of the way. And? Alright, it looks like it takes some time. Just like growing a real plant, I suppose. But it doesn't take much time for us, it seems. We get to cut straight to the chase. Wasn't quite that challenging. But again, we've been pretty abundantly collecting resources. Alright, you're in a mana-bound area once again. Got some interesting flowers, perhaps, over here. They look vaguely like flowers, they have the shape of flowers. But they have a wooden texture. There's an enemy around here, or there's a dangerous enemy around here, it sounds like. Again, we're probably not going to worry about that until we've dealt with... Whoop, well, alright, so this isn't a dangerous enemy, but... Oh, interesting. Rooker also has a gun, it seems. Anyway. Yes, I was hoping to shoot this. There we are. Now, which way are we going? Looks like we're going into a fight. Alright. Very good. Ah, okay. So that was the creature that they had mentioned. Nothing too dangerous. Looks like we have a ladder. I was half expecting us to need to repair the ladder or something of that sort. But it seems to be fine. Are these anything of note to us? Oh, I'm out of bullets. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate. Nope. Whoop, hold on. Simple synthesis, there we are. Yes. Never want to run out of bullets. That should be fine. These... No, okay, those are crystal shards, the same as always. Alright. Not too far left to go. Looks like we're going to have to take a bit of a roundabout path to get there. Oop. Up we are. Okay, we didn't need to jump up here, but I do always like to do a little bit of jumping. Fast travel point. I don't think we're going to bother with this creature too much. Well, I don't know. I feel like testing myself. Why not? Oop. There we are. Oop. Very nice. Lead out with some good damage. Alright. Doing good, doing good. Very clean. Alright. Once again, we're not facing too much difficulty. I don't remember, did we... I know at some point I experimented with raising the difficulty. Are we still... Yeah, we are still on hard. Yeah, again, on yet harder difficulties, I did encounter a fair amount of struggle. I'm not too inclined to raise things too much again. we'll keep it as it is for right now. Again, we're about to fight a boss anyway, from the sounds of things. Don't want to deal with that. You know what? Since we don't do so very often, looks like we're not going to have the chance to do so now. Oh no. Do we? Oh, we don't have a camping set. That explains why we weren't able to camp. Alright. And let me also make sure that we have plenty of food. Alright. We are getting a little bit full, but we are about to make use of some of those. Alright, it looks like we are not in a spot where we can. Well, I guess it makes sense that we can't camp when we're in a mana-bound area. I don't know if that's necessarily a consideration the game makes, but it does seem it makes intuitive sense. Alright, we've made our way to the tree. So far without incident. But things can always change on a dime. That is indeed a pretty great tree. Richter, it seems, also has those finely honed instincts. Well, it looks like we don't need to go far to find trouble. There's our foe. I feel like that's not that remarkable, considering, again, we have seen it make use of alchemy previously. Oh, he's associated with Alades. Alright, let us begin. Alright. So, let's see what he is capable of. Oops. Capable of doing a fair amount of damage, huh? Alright. Let's take this opportunity to make sure that our team is pretty well healed up. Oops. Alright. Not doing bad. All right. Very cool. Might not be the most, Ooh, okay, okay. Alright, so this is very interesting, very different from what we've seen before. Alright, alright. Probably should be a little bit careful about our health and not taking too many attacks. Alright. Alright. Alright, alright. Let's try out a few abilities, or a few items rather. Given that we've got a pretty good supply on Yumia here. Oh, okay, so it does seem that if you dodge in the middle of using an item, it does still deduct your uses of it. Alright, let's get a heal on Yumia. Ooh. Alright, not bad, not bad. The effect for Bulletstorm is very cool looking also. So yeah, so we might want to, when he's doing that, we might want to defend a little bit more. Alright, alright. Not bad, not bad. Okay. So, Woodland Remedy. Let's hope he doesn't... Oop, okay. I wonder if he's using that specific attack because we're staying at a distance. No, it does seem like he just does it. Okay. Ooh, this is getting kind of bad. Alright. And... actually, no, we need to move in for this one. I don't know if it's just a timing thing or if we just need to... Uh-oh. Okay, heal, heal. Okay, back up. And heal up again. Stay out of the way of that. I don't know if we can use our items at a range, too. Okay, there we are. So yeah, I do need to just get a little bit better about dodging that. Oh! It does seem to just be a timing issue. Oh! Here we are. Alright. Back in business. Oh, oh dear. Okay. Good that we avoided the worst of that. Nice, nice. Oh, Rooker's here too. Yes, he seems to be a little bit focused on us. Oh. That's good, to some extent. Not necessarily to, Okay, he's down, okay. Oh, I was worried that we'd lost the fight there just because Yumia had gone down. Interesting. Hmm. Someone else steps in. Well, we're doing pretty good, I'd say. Alright, we've got another teammate, it seems. Seems that he has a limit on his ability to operate in mana-bound areas as well. Perhaps. Yes, now we have a mysterious new ally on our side. Now, who might this be? Nina, alright. Yeah, he was using the same move over and over. We probably should do something about the mana, yes. So it's interesting that Nina was able to get here, considering that we definitely didn't give her any energy because she wasn't with us at the time. So she must have some means of handling it. At least to an extent, at least. A bit redundant there, but to some extent. Yeah, I suppose it has been demonstrated that it's not as though being in a mana-bound area is immediately dangerous. But I wouldn't think that she'd be able to get this far into one unaided. Well, I suppose we'll learn a little bit more about Nina in a short while here. Alright. Now the area of the Great Tree is safe. He definitely seems to have some ability, some mana ability. Yes, much to learn here, much to learn. That seems to be the most likely, yes. Yeah, very much like our own energy core. Yes, I suppose we still aren't sure what he's doing. But, from what he's said, From how he seems to be referring to, oh yeah, Yumia is at precisely 1 hit point. So, we're probably going to want to set up a place to sleep around here. So, before we do anything else, let's do that. So, whoops. Building. Alright. So, I know we said a place to sleep, but I am going to build a... Oh, okay. Alright, I don't have enough great tree root materials, which I don't know how to get those. Presumably we can get them in the general area of the great tree, perhaps. But, oh, hold on. Oh, we can get a blueprint for a fruit tree. Interesting. Okay, this is a little bit too large. I suppose we can always just build something ourselves, perhaps. Honestly, I kind of do want to just go ahead and build something. Maybe not necessarily the most efficient use of our time, but oh well. Who's going to stop me? So yes. So, we need at least 4 walls and at least 1 door. I suppose that the door counts for a wall. We want a fair amount of space, so we'll make a few of these. Alright. So, I suppose we do also have an ad coming up. I might do some of the building during the ad break. Alright. And how do we... Okay, there we are. That's how we rotate. So yeah, this seems to be... Can I place this backwards, perhaps? Because yeah, I think this is... I suppose it doesn't matter, per se. But I think that this bracing structure would look better on the outside. That seems to be more appropriate. Yeah, this definitely looks more like an exterior. And of course, we do need to have a ceiling at some point, but I'm not going to be too picky. Oh, alright, that's no good. There we are. So we're going to want more than this, I think. Oh, and I put the wall in wrong. Okay, I can just build these from the menu. Alright. So, I think we'll make this a little bit nicer. Spruce the place up a little bit. Yeah, make it more than just sort of a bare minimum kind of structure. Alright. We'll need 3 more of these. Whoops. Okay, we can only build 1 at a time, though, it seems like. Oh well. So anyway. Oh, there we are. Line that up to this. I feel like the wall's clipping slightly. I guess it should clip just a little bit so that they line up properly. Alright. Unfortunate that we can only build 1 of these at a time, but oh well. I suppose if you don't have the exact number mapped out in your mind, it can be helpful, or if you're just a little bit short. Alright, so I feel like we kind of need some sort of scaffolding or something to be able to get up to the top there. Stairs would probably work just fine as well, but what is this? Oh, a cooking pot. Oh, a cooking pot that can be used to cook. Okay. Interesting, interesting. So it looks like we also have some sort of alternate Oh, interesting. Local wildlife, you say? Yeah, some of these seem to be... Oh, okay. That's how you do trait building, recipe recall. Okay, okay. Yeah, so a lot of these... Oh. Okay, looks like the ad started. So, give me a bit. Oh, there we are. Alright, I have returned. And I realized that I did... Oh, hold on. I think this is the wrong type of root. Anyway, so like I said, I did a little bit of building here, and we're still in the middle of some more. But yeah, I actually was thinking a little bit about the building previously. But yeah, I was going to say that I feel like a lot of the... Yeah, this should match the aesthetic a little bit better. Yeah, I think this will also be... Yeah, there we are. The color doesn't look quite right. But I suppose the interior of it won't be seen so much. Actually, this was basic. Yeah, these are all also basic, so presumably they should be a matched pair. Or not a pair, but, you know, a unit, perhaps. Alright, so we need to place this like so. Camera's fighting me a little bit, but there we are. Okay, no, that's matching pretty well. And we need one more roof B. There we are. Alright, it does look a little bit mismatched in places, but, you know, for my first time building a house in this game, I suppose it's not bad. I don't like this, though. I definitely don't like this. I don't know. I feel like I noticed that the walls are clipping into each other a little bit in a way that seems like it's not supposed to be quite that way here. I wonder if I placed something slightly wrong. Well, it is what it is. Anyway, we've got some nice wooden floors. We've got some lighting. We've got a cooking pot that's hovering in the air. I think... Did we see... I think there's like a hearth or something that you can build. Something to that effect. Something like that or a campfire would be good for this. Because I feel like just having the cooking pot just kind of there feels a little bit strange. I wonder if we can build walls with windows. Yes, we can, actually. Alright, we're not going to worry about it too much right now. I can do some more of this on my own time if I feel like it. I do want to get on with things before too long. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything that... I might just have overlooked something, but... Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that looks tremendously like a source of fire. So the cookpot might just have to be what it is. Anyway, I'm going to place this food bowl outside also, because I want to see that local wildlife. And while we're out here, we'll also put up a lamp or something so that we can actually see them when they arrive. Let's see, simple outdoor light sounds good. Quite a large outdoor light, actually. It doesn't seem to produce a whole lot of light, but it might just not be the appropriate time for that. Alright, yeah, it looks like... I don't know, it might have been the asset that we saw before was just part of the campsite scene. The cook pot just being kind of on the ground feels about as strange as just having it being in the air. I suppose we can't win or lose one way or the other. I suppose we'll get more. Yeah, we need to explore ruins to get more blueprints. So we'll do that at some point. Actually, unless one of these chimneys has like a fireplace built in. But it looks like they're just chimney assets. You know, something that suggests a fireplace but doesn't function as one per se. Alright, a bed will be perfectly fine for us. And you know, while we're here, we might as well spruce things up a little bit. Do a little bit of reading. Have a little couch. Alright. Nice. Now it's not just a base, it's a home. Ah! And our teammates are appreciating it right away. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything that we can or necessarily need to. Nice. Yes, anything that we can or necessarily need to do in order to make the all of these function. I wonder if placing more seating would allow more of our team to be here. I did say I wanted to move on, but while we're here, feels a little bit weird that Rutger wouldn't be willing to share a chair with Victor, but it is what it is. I guess they're not that close yet. Oh, actually, we can make a few of these, so why not? Alright. I think I placed that stool a little bit too far away, didn't I? I guess the cooktop's kind of in the way. The cookpot feels just as strange on the table as it does on the floor. Maybe slightly less so. Okay, we do have another light. Enter it a little bit. This is that should probably give us some of the best lighting that we can accomplish. This little bit here is kind of weird, but oh well. Anyway. Oh, okay, no, they are sharing now. They definitely don't look like they're necessarily happy with it, but they are sharing a seat. Can we move a little bit closer? It seems like not. Alright, here we are. Very good, very good. I like it. Anyway. It was the perfect opportunity to take my revenge. I couldn't do anything while facing him. I must become stronger, and I must defeat Vesper. I heard the gist of things from the noble boy, so that monster wrecked your home. I don't plan on sticking my nose in other people's past, so whatever your goal is, just do what you like. If Nina hadn't been there, he would have been... I must become stronger. Strong enough to defeat Vesper. Alright, cooking. Oh. There we are, cooking. Oh, this isn't cooking. Seems like I might have placed the stool a little bit too low because my foot is clipping into the ground here, but... Alright. Cook? There we go. Okay, so yeah, so we can do the normal campsite cooking while at these cook pots. So yeah, that's nice. Sit. I don't know how long we've had this ability, or how long we've had the ability to make these. Because I remember looking through the catalog trying to find something to this effect and not seeing it, so. Well, I don't think we need to do anything immediately with this. Actually, I think all of our furniture is clipping into the ground a little bit, but oh well. Yes, it now seems that Isla's interested in the scene of the two boys sitting on the chair, but very much not engaged with anything that's going on. Yeah, I think all the furniture is kind of slipping into the floor here. You might need to work on that, but oh well. Yes, so given what we know now, I suppose we don't necessarily need this. It's a convenient place to craft a whole lot of things at once, but, you know, it's not that necessary. Do we... Okay. Actually... No, because I remember, yeah, last time we tried to place a greenhouse just normally, and it didn't allow it. I don't know, we'll make one anyway, just so that we have those resources, ready, basically, so we have it for when we build the next one. Because, yeah, again, it just doesn't seem that we can build these normally. Oh well. It seems that we still don't have a very comfortable environment. We can probably do something about that. Again, we did see that we can get, Daryl. Yeah, we can get some benefits by having a little bit more, comfort. And nothing is more comfortable than barrels. Alright, it looks like there's a few things that are more comfortable than barrels, like bouquets. Place that on top of the barrel. Put down some carpet. Oops. Yeah, it looks like the carpet, yeah, it sort of matches with the floor. Alright, whoop. Uh-oh. Here. Oh, this is getting close, but still not. There we are. Alright, we have a fruit tree blueprint now. So, does that have a function, or is it just for the sake of it? Palm tree. Alright, none of these seem to be a fruit tree, which would suggest that it's in some other category, which means that it could be something that has a function. Ruined door switch. That's interesting. I saw that earlier, but I didn't really parse it. Fruit tree. Doesn't say that it does anything. Ah, but it does. Okay, we can, as with everything else, we can just place it in the air if we feel so inclined. Anyway, this fruit tree, if you can believe it, grows fruit. Not a lot of fruit, it seems like, but it does grow fruit. And fruit is all important. Dog. Very nice. Alright. Well, I don't know if it was the most efficient use of my time, but I did have a lot of fun setting this up. The fruit tree seems a little bit redundant with, let's try to actually shoot things when we shoot them. The fruit tree seems a little bit redundant with all this around, but oh well. I wonder how quickly it regrows. Not immediately, which I suppose makes sense. Anyway, we don't need this too desperately, and in fact, you know, we don't need it at all anymore, but... Alright. So yeah. I suppose while we're here... Anyway. I am curious. Where did I see the... Ah, it was in the catalog, wasn't it? So yes. So, auto recovery speed of energy after resting, shelf, dresser, ingredients gathered after resting. So yeah, so improving the bases does seem like something that could give us a fair amount of benefit. I'm not sure how much it's necessary. It's probably not very necessary at all, but it's definitely interesting. I imagine there's a lot of, you could probably play this game in a way that makes the base a little bit more meaningful. We don't have a lot of reason to build them right now, at least not to build them up to any real extent, because again, we can fast travel just to wherever we need to go, whenever we need to go there. So, we don't necessarily need to build a... Okay, but this gives us great tree roots. But yes, we don't necessarily need to build a tremendous, build things up tremendously. Yeah, we don't need to build things up tremendously. But doing a little bit here and there could be good. And I imagine it would also be quite good if we were, if for instance we were doing some sort of self-imposed challenge of not fast traveling or anything. Which I most certainly am not, but... This lamp thing has a name, I'll have you know. Alright, Kwame, what do you have to say about this particular memory vial? Not a whole lot, but something at least. Something bad happened, it seems like. Hmm.
東で何があったかは知らんが、俺たちはあんたたちの味方だからな。東といえば、アラディスの首都の方角だけど。
So it could be that that's where the disaster came from.
錬金術、過ち。アラディスで一体何があったの？錬金術は一体何をしたの？何を置いても一度報告に戻った方がいいだろう。奴のことも改めて団長に報告しておきたい。そうですね。ニーナさんも一緒に戻りましょう。いえ、私はもう少しこの辺りを調べてみるわ。
I imagine it'll probably be a little bit longer before she joins us. You did just get Rutger after all.
調査活動を命じられてるの。それにこれでも結構名の通った傭兵だったのよ。あの身のこなしからただものではないと思っていたが。はあ？なんかずるくねえか？俺の時はダメって言われたのに。
Well, to be fair, Rutger, you do. I don't want to be rude about it. Isla put it pretty succinctly, I think. Yes, thank you again for the assistance. He'll probably be fine.
自分の命は自分で守るってことだろう。まったく、たまたま駆けつけてくれて助かったぜ。調査拠点まで戻るぞ。
Hmm.
必ず団長の耳に入れておかなければ。
We are supposed to report back,
疲労を抱えたまま歩き回ってたら、そこらの雑魚にも
I
足を
kind
す
of
くっ
want
て
to do a little bit of poking around as well.
ところに戻った気分だ。よく草むしりをさせられてたからな。
Hmm. I remember it was scenes like this, or at least I remember being around waterfalls before was when I noticed the problem. I don't think it was necessarily the cause of the problem, but it was when I first noticed it. So far, things do seem to be pretty solid, though, honestly. Oh, we've got a shrine here. So yes, so, it looks like we are being rewarded for poking around a little bit. So yeah, so I don't think we're going to report back before we wrap things up. But I do want to do a little bit more exploring here. We'll complete the shrine quest, I think, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Is he trying to imply that he's carrying the group on his shoulders? Hmm. Interesting. Must be reactivated. Well, I've been trying to reactivate it. I've shot it twice, and oh, there we are. We certainly have used up a lot of bullets, haven't we? Okay, that's active. And then the other one should be... that... where does this lead us? Okay, it does lead us to another shrine, which we need to put back together. This should be... whoops. Alright. Okay. Whoop. Pretty smooth there. Oh, we do have a bird attacking us, which we'll deal with, why not? We have lost a good amount of health there, haven't we, huh? So, let's... no, yeah. We need the heal rifter. Anyway. Huh. Seems the necromancy is quite strong. I know we've seen 2 different level up animations out of Yumia, but I can't think of if we've seen any more out of anyone else. I suppose if there was anyone to have a little bit of extra animation, it would be the protagonist of the game, but still. Alright, very nice. Now, we do have a little bit more time still. We do have a few more points of interest around the area. More of those. Actually, no, this seems to be a living flower. Whereas what we were seeing earlier was... is that alive? Yeah, the other one, again, it looked either like it was made of wood or like it was petrified, perhaps. Oh. Can we get up on top here? And if we do, is there anything to be had? Well... Here we are. Alright, there's a gathering point up here. But it's nothing too interesting. Oh well. There's another question mark over here. I'm guessing that's a shrine, probably. Indeed it is. A small shrine. And we have a few more... We had a few more around here. But, I don't know. No need to belabor things any. Might as well wrap up for the day. So, we'll finish things off with one more group pose, and then we will return to the room. So yes, Yumia. Yeah, I've had fun. I hope everyone else has as well. As per usual, if anyone has any raid target suggestions, I would be delighted to hear them. If not, I can find a target on my own. And in the meantime, I will go over the business. So yes, so again, today has been Atelier Yumia. Tomorrow should be some more Arknights. Thursday, more Yumia. Friday, let me check. Alright. Yeah, Friday should be some more Mika and the Witch's Mountain. And then Saturday should be some more Arknights. Yeah, once again, we are looking to add Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma into the mix once that game gets delivered to me. Other than that, nothing else needs to be said about what we're playing now or in the immediate future. But, as per usual, the Thursday and Friday streams you can expect to be around 9 p.m. Central Time. The others you can expect to be around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And that should cover the basics there. So, time to take a sip. Sip. Yeah. I do still kind of wish there was nothing similar. Mr. Cool VT is doing Truck Simulator, Code Channel is playing Mario Mod, and Marky is playing Titan Souls. So yeah, I don't really concern myself with, trying to find something similar per se. Usually I just like to visit people that I know. So yeah. So, I don't know, if you have anyone that you would like to, see in particular, feel free to suggest them. But yeah. Anyway, as I was saying... What was I saying? Right, so, about the building. I do kind of wish there was a little bit more... Let's go say hi to Marky? Alright, sounds good to me. So yeah, I suppose we'll set that up while I talk. So yes. So as I was saying, yes, I do wish there was a little bit more incentive to do a little bit more building. So far, we haven't really had much reason to do much more than just place down the templates that they already have. And even when we do, there hasn't been much incentive to do much more than place down the basic templates. Really, there hasn't been a whole lot of incentive to do even that, honestly. I did enjoy the building, so I guess it's kind of a thing that's pretty optional, but something you can do if you feel so inclined. And, as we could see, I did feel so inclined, and so I did it. Anyway, I did enjoy it. Basically, I'm just saying that I would like to have more excuse to enjoy it on stream. But I suppose I don't need an excuse. Not really, anyway. So yes, anyway, the customary raid message is, as always, we have arrived. And, so yes, so we'll be going and visiting Marky, who is playing some Titan Souls. I only have a very, very vague knowledge of this game, which is to say I've seen it before. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for dropping by. So yes, I've heard the name before, actually. Now that I look at it, I don't think I've actually seen it. But anyway, so, thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that you have had a fine night. I hope that you'll continue to have a fine night every night. And I hope that you'll be well until the next time I see you. Thank you very much, and farewell. Let us get this raid underway.